Have you ever felt like time accelerates as you step into your golden years? The world keeps moving forward, and sometimes it feels like we are merely trying to keep up. Aging is a natural process, but how we embrace it defines the quality of our later years. Some habits, often unintentional, can diminish our dignity and affect how we are perceived by those around us. In this discussion, I will share 5 essential behaviors to be mindful of, helping you navigate the aging journey with wisdom, respect, and grace. Stay with me until the end. These insights might change how you approach this important phase of life. Before we begin, I would truly appreciate it if you could show your support by liking this video. Your engagement helps spread valuable lessons on aging gracefully. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend doing so and turning on notifications to stay updated. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Type 1 if you found the video helpful, or 0 if you think improvements are needed. Now let's get started. It feels like just yesterday that life stretched endlessly ahead. But in what seems like the blink of an eye, old age has arrived. Time moves differently now. Youth felt like a slow climb, but the descent into old age seems to pick up speed. How should we navigate this new chapter? Aging is an inevitable part of the human experience. But true maturity is not merely a function of years. It requires thoughtful effort. As our appearance changes and our physical strength diminishes, our priorities also shift. Conversations lean towards reminiscing. Our memory starts to fade, and our bodies show signs of wear. Wrinkles deepen, and age spots emerge. We cannot halt time, but we can certainly shape how we experience it. Despite the physical changes, aging does not mean losing our sense of dignity. Those who carry themselves with wisdom and grace remain beautiful, even in their advanced years. Just as ancient trees still bloom, an elderly person can exude charm and depth. Throughout life, we meet individuals whose character radiates resilience, kindness, and insight. These people, having endured life's trials, become a source of inspiration. In contrast, those who resist growth, insisting their opinions are always correct, risk being perceived as stubborn and difficult. While no one can avoid aging physically, we can strive to age with dignity and spirit. The choice is ours. Do we become someone whose presence is cherished, or do we allow ourselves to slip into behaviors that alienate us from others? Many older individuals reflect on their daily lives, evaluating whether they have lived meaningfully. While youth may have its advantages, there is something uniquely beautiful about the wisdom of age. However, this wisdom is not automatic. It must be cultivated. Today, I want to highlight 5 behaviors to avoid so that we can age with maturity and grace. Let's embrace this journey thoughtfully and work towards fostering an elegant and respected presence in our later years. One of the most common habits to be mindful of is dominating conversations. Have you ever been in a situation where someone talks incessantly, unaware that others might not be as interested in the topic? In the past, reaching the age of 60 was a milestone, and elders were revered for their wisdom. But times have changed. Now, with a longer life expectancy and a growing elderly population, respect is no longer given solely based on age. It must be earned through actions and behavior. It is not uncommon to witness elderly individuals speaking loudly in public spaces, completely oblivious to the reactions of those around them. While hearing loss is a natural part of aging, it is important to be mindful of how our volume affects others. Conversations, especially those conducted over the phone in public places, should be kept brief and considerate. After all, no one enjoys being forced to listen to someone else's discussion while traveling on a bus or sitting in a quiet cafe. This isn't to say that younger people never engage in loud or intrusive behavior. However, when an elderly person behaves this way, it often leads others to question whether a lifetime of experiences has taught them nothing about respect and consideration. Becoming known as someone who talks excessively and without regard for others can be detrimental to the dignity we wish to maintain. There is an old saying, the elderly should keep their mouths closed and their hearts open. The older we get, the more we should focus on speaking less but with greater substance. This does not simply mean lowering our volume. It means resisting the urge to impose our opinions on others. One of the first things we must guard against as we age is stubbornness. The world evolves, and we must learn to step back, listen, and adapt. Shouldn't we begin by softening our approach and being more open to new perspectives? In any social setting, basic courtesy is invaluable. Pursuing personal interests is essential, but not at the expense of others. People who monopolize conversations often do so to showcase their knowledge or experiences, but this can easily come across as arrogance. True wisdom is demonstrated through curiosity and humility, not through excessive talking. There is a saying that as one grows older, one should become more inquisitive rather than more self-assured. Those who ignore this advice risk living in a narrow, one-dimensional way, making it harder for others to enjoy their company. Aging gracefully requires effort. It is not merely about reaching a certain age. It is about how we carry ourselves. Elegance and respect do not come automatically with age. They are cultivated through awareness, restraint, and a willingness to grow. This is what I would call the etiquette of aging. The principles that allow us to be seen as respected elders rather than as individuals who simply grew old. Silence is often a powerful tool. Those who possess true inner beauty and wisdom do not need to assert themselves forcefully. Their presence alone speaks volumes. The choice is in our hands. Will we be remembered for our kindness and wisdom, or for behaviors that push others away? Let's strive to be the kind of elders whose presence is cherished, whose words carry weight, and whose dignity remains intact. Their very presence speaks volumes. If you've made it this far into the video and find these insights meaningful, drop a comment with the number 1 below. This way, I know you're still engaged and watching with me. I truly appreciate your valuable time. One of the behaviors to be mindful of is the tendency to excessively boast. Some elderly individuals, whenever they speak, tend to exaggerate or constantly highlight their achievements. While a little pride in one's life journey is natural, persistent boasting can be off-putting. It's easier to tolerate if there's a deep connection, but even then, it can become tiresome. I have a friend who never misses a chance to talk about their children's successes. If there were 3 things best left unboasted about, they would be one's spouse, children, and wealth. Among these, constantly discussing one's children's accomplishments, even among close friends, is something to be wary of. Some parents are fortunate enough to have children who excel in various fields, while others may be struggling with concerns about their kids. Talking endlessly about your children's achievements in front of someone facing difficulties with theirs is akin to flaunting good health in front of someone battling an illness. Outwardly, they may remain composed, but internally, it adds to their stress. As we grow older, some friends focus more on talking about their successes than on celebrating others. This habit, if unchecked, can push even long-standing companions away. If you wish to maintain strong, lasting friendships, avoid boasting about your children. If you feel the need to share, do so privately with your spouse. One pattern we often notice in society is that the more someone brags, the less they seem to possess. They may invest significant effort in self-promotion, but upon closer look, there's often little substance behind their words. Many chronic boasters resemble a fruit that looks appealing on the outside but lacks taste and nourishment. Why is this so? Because if someone who boasts frequently doesn't keep promoting themselves, their shortcomings might become more apparent. To compensate, they feel the need to constantly project an image of greatness. In reality, those who truly have something of value don't feel the need to brag. Their actions, achievements, and relationships speak for themselves. It is evident in the way they live, the work they do, and the people they associate with. Such individuals don't seek to show off, but instead lower themselves, displaying generosity and humility. Their kindness and willingness to help others naturally reveal their character and accomplishments. So, what kind of person are we? Whether it is financial wealth or richness in spirit, those who focus on showing off often lack true depth. A mindset of humility and generosity is what defines a truly abundant life. That is the essence of aging with grace. True wealth is reflected not in words, but in one's ability to uplift and support others. In our younger years, there might be moments where we want to showcase our achievements. However, as we mature, we begin to understand that boasting serves little purpose. Feeling proud of one's accomplishments is natural, but it doesn't always need to be displayed. Knowing when to step back and let our actions speak for themselves is a hallmark of wisdom gained through a long life. Another common mistake we should be cautious of is forming judgments about people based on only 1 or 2 encounters. Often such judgments stem from preconceived notions and biases, which prevent us from truly understanding others. There's an old saying that within each of us, we nurture a few metaphorical dogs. 2 of them have specific names. One is prejudice, and the other is bias. These internal forces influence how we view the world and interact with others. They shape our initial impressions, sometimes leading us to unfair conclusions, without sufficient understanding. In many ways, society functions within a self-created prison of assumptions, limiting genuine human connections. But there's another powerful force that can counter these tendencies: insight. Insight allows us to move beyond superficial perceptions and recognize the deeper complexities of people and situations. The more life experience we gain, the more valuable insight becomes. It gives us the ability to look beyond appearances, enabling us to make fairer, more balanced assessments of those around us. However, not everyone embraces this growth. Some individuals cling to narrow views, engaging in gossip and making quick judgments based on incomplete information. Instead of seeking to understand, they rush to criticize and condemn. This type of mentality can be compared to a different dog: narrow-mindedness. Unlike insight, this dog is loud yet empty, barking without true understanding. It keeps people from seeing the full picture and prevents them from considering perspectives outside their own. Before stepping into social situations, work environments, or casual gatherings, it's important to reflect on which mindset we are bringing with us. Are we guided by prejudice, bias, narrow-mindedness, or insight? The answer determines the quality of our interactions and relationships. One of the most valuable lessons in aging is the ability to let go of preconceived judgments. In youth, our understanding of the world is still developing, and we often make decisions based on limited knowledge. As we grow older, experience should ideally bring wisdom. However, it can also tempt us into believing that we've seen everything and that our past assumptions always hold true. This is a dangerous mindset, as it prevents continuous growth and deeper understanding. True wisdom lies in remaining open-minded, embracing the nuances of human behavior, and acknowledging that everyone has a unique journey. It is through insight, humility, and generosity that we truly age with grace and dignity. By shifting our focus away from boasting and judgment, we cultivate richer, more meaningful relationships and lead a life that leaves a lasting impact. We often believe we can predict how people will behave, but this assumption can deepen prejudices, making it difficult for us to truly see others for who they are. It is important to regularly examine whether we are closing ourselves off to new people or situations due to preconceived notions. Making assumptions about others based on surface-level traits, such as appearance, background, or education, can be harmful. These biases create barriers in relationships, isolate us, and make it harder to form genuine connections. Holding on to resentment without any valid reason only traps us in negativity. Even when we recognize this, it can be challenging to free ourselves from the grip of prejudice. Overcoming bias requires constant self-reflection and conscious effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. Choosing to approach others with compassion rather than judgment expands our social circles and strengthens our relationships. It allows us to build bridges instead of walls. To cultivate meaningful friendships and genuine human connections, we must first rid ourselves of these ingrained biases. As we grow older, we must stay vigilant against assumptions that confine us. Accepting people as they are, rather than how we think they should be, is key to embracing the richness of human interactions. The wisdom of Ralph Waldo Emerson reminds us to meet people with an open heart, free from past judgments. When we engage with others without preconceived ideas, we can appreciate them for their true essence. This openness fosters deeper understanding and more fulfilling relationships. If we seek a life enriched with genuine connections, we must make a conscious effort to replace bias with insight, narrow-mindedness with understanding, and prejudice with compassion. Only then can we break free from the mental barriers we create and fully embrace the potential of human relationships. If you are still watching this video and finding value in these insights, please comment the number 2 below to let me know you're still with me. Your engagement is truly appreciated. As we age, many people begin neglecting their appearance, assuming that looks are unimportant in later years. Some argue that inner beauty is what truly matters and that we should age naturally. However, allowing ourselves to become careless with our appearance can lead to regret when we look in the mirror. Seeing friends who have taken care of themselves can sometimes make us feel as though we have let ourselves go. Maintaining a certain level of self-care is crucial for our self-esteem. Older individuals often become complacent, but staying active, walking regularly, and taking care of oneself contribute to a sense of dignity. A neat and tidy appearance reflects discipline and self-respect. While fashion trends may not be necessary to follow, completely disregarding one's appearance can lead to feeling disconnected from oneself. While younger individuals might pull off casual or even unkempt styles, a similar approach in old age can make one seem neglected. Enhancing our external charm as we age can, in turn, bring out our inner radiance. How do you feel after a visit to the beauty salon? Many women say that even a simple change in hairstyle can lift their spirits. Grooming oneself can serve as an effective way to shake off negative emotions and embrace transformation. Even those who have been unwell for a long time often experience a renewed sense of vitality after freshening up their appearance. Taking care of how we look is a form of emotional self-care that becomes increasingly essential as we age. Studies show that individuals who appear more aged tend to experience emotional aging more rapidly, often leading to a decline in physical health. Keeping up with personal grooming and wearing well-maintained clothing can positively influence emotional well-being and even help prevent feelings of depression, particularly among elderly women. Many people over 60 maintain that taking care of their appearance is something they will continue doing for the rest of their lives. It contributes to an improved quality of life, boosts self-confidence, and strengthens their sense of self-worth. Additionally, a well-kept appearance fosters trust and credibility when interacting with others. When meeting someone new, we may claim that inner qualities are the most important, but appearance is still the first thing we notice. This is not about superficial beauty, but about presenting oneself in a way that reflects trustworthiness and confidence. As we grow older, we accumulate experience, wisdom, and social standing. But if these qualities are not properly expressed, they can be difficult to convey to others. A well-groomed appearance helps communicate our inner qualities more effectively. Those who maintain their appearance with age often come across as more capable and reliable. Staying consistent in personal care requires effort and discipline, which also reflects strong time management and emotional stability. This can be beneficial not only for maintaining relationships, but also for professional opportunities later in life. Aging is a natural and inevitable process, and as the years pass, the signs of aging become more evident. While reversing time is impossible, maintaining an active and engaged lifestyle can make a significant difference. Now that you have reached a stage where you are retired and free to make choices for yourself, it may be worth reconsidering your approach to self-care. If you have neglected your appearance, making an effort to improve it can have a positive impact on both your physical and mental well-being. Taking care of oneself is not just about aesthetics. It directly influences health and emotional stability. Those who stop engaging in personal growth and self-improvement may find themselves feeling outdated or disconnected from the world around them. Even if self-care seems like a burden at times, it is important to keep moving, walking, and staying active. Your body is irreplaceable, and you only get one. Keeping this in mind can help cultivate a mindset that prioritizes well-being. The belief that age or status alone should command respect from younger generations is a common yet flawed assumption. While experience and wisdom often come with age, they do not automatically entitle someone to respect. Instead, respect is something that must be cultivated through actions, attitudes, and the way we interact with others. What does it truly mean to be elderly? Society often paints a picture of older individuals as vulnerable and in need of assistance. Unfortunately, aging is frequently accompanied by negative stereotypes, depicting seniors as rigid, inflexible, or even inconsiderate. Alarmingly, these prejudices appear to be increasing. In some places, concepts like no senior zones have emerged, similar to no kid zones, highlighting an ever-growing generational divide. Young people today are naturally inquisitive, questioning the world around them and forming their own perspectives. Many seniors feel inclined to guide or mentor younger generations, hoping to pass on their experiences and values. The problem arises when older individuals assume that their age alone should command unquestioned respect. Entering a room and expecting automatic deference can create distance rather than connection. If elders react with disappointment or frustration when younger people do not immediately offer the reverence they expect, this sentiment becomes apparent, further pushing others away. However, those who embrace humility and generosity will naturally foster stronger bonds with others. Older individuals who are willing to listen, compromise, and engage with younger generations in a spirit of mutual respect will find themselves welcomed and appreciated. A generous, understanding demeanor creates an environment of trust, deepening connections across generations. This not only enhances social bonds, but also contributes to a positive emotional state and even improved physical health. True respect is not something that can be demanded. It is something that must be earned. As we age, it is essential to cultivate an awareness of those around us. A person who consistently acts with kindness and thoughtfulness will naturally be admired. Unfortunately, many seniors hold on to the belief that their years alone entitle them to special treatment. While it is true that elders have often made significant sacrifices for their families and communities, expecting respect based solely on past contributions does not guarantee genuine admiration. Older generations have endured hardships, providing for their families and shaping the societies in which we live. Their sacrifices are indeed honorable. However, attempting to leverage these past contributions to demand respect does not foster genuine appreciation. Respect that is given out of obligation, rather than sincerity, lacks true meaning. To earn authentic respect, one must continue growing, adapting, and engaging with those around them. A truly respectable elder does not cling to outdated notions of authority and superiority. Stubbornness and pride can isolate individuals, while self-awareness and humility can build bridges. An elder who exudes grace, consideration, and understanding will naturally attract admiration. In contrast, one who insists on deference due to age alone may be perceived as disconnected from the present reality. Aging with dignity is not just about maintaining a neat appearance. It's about refining one's inner self. A positive, open-minded approach to life, combined with a willingness to connect with others, will ensure that respect is earned and maintained. Those who constantly boast about past achievements, wealth, or status may feel temporarily validated, but these superficial sources of pride often lead to loneliness and alienation. Negative stereotypes about the elderly, weakness, stubbornness, and insensitivity will persist unless actively challenged. The key to breaking these misconceptions lies in personal growth and continuous self-improvement. As we age, we must remain conscious of how we present ourselves and interact with others. Respect is not a privilege granted by the passage of time. It is a result of how we choose to live our lives. I hope today's discussion encourages you to reflect on your journey toward a respected and fulfilling old age. By fostering understanding and meaningful connections, we can ensure that aging is a dignified and enriching experience. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What insight from this video resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what lessons you'll be applying in your own life. If you found this discussion valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue bringing meaningful content to you. Thank you for watching, and remember, aging is not just about growing older. It's about growing wiser and embracing life with grace.